Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and got to check out my Wonder Woman 1854 editorial along with my Godzilla vs. Kong little genre, etc. video. That was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more of those. But let's get on with the show. I'd like to thank my two newest members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to Gabriel Koneski or Gabrielle Koneski and Kinky Sphinster. Interesting name there, but I hope I said your names correctly. Thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show as a member. But I also like to thank the rest of the subscribers and members. Thank you so much for your support. Please click the like button. All right, now let's get on with the topics of the day. The first topic of the day is Wonder Woman 1984 submitted for Oscars. Yeah, this is coming from comicbook.com. Apparently, Wonder Woman 1984 is going for gold. Warner Brothers submits Wonder Woman 1984 for consideration in all categories at the Oscars, including a push for Best Picture. Now, you may be thinking, if you didn't like Wonder Woman 1984, you'd be like, what? What is up with that? Even for people who did like it, may be like, what? What is up with that? But, it's not new. I think they've done that kind of stuff before, especially in Marvel. I think Marvel has also submitted movies over to the Oscars like Black Panther, Avengers, and other movies as well. I think DC has done it as well. So it's not very, it's not surprising because you never know. You could still win something, right? In technical part or as in Suicide Squad, the makeup, I think. And, there's always different ways to win an Oscar in certain categories. So, but Wonder Woman 1984 considered for the Oscars. Let's see if it wins anything or even gets nominated for anything. All right. Now, something else that did win, though, and that is Birds of Prey. Apparently, Birds of Prey wins Critic Choice Super Awards. Margot Robbie won for Best Actress in a Superhero Movie in Birds of Prey. Not only that, but Ewan McGregor wins Critics' Choice Super Award for Best Superhero Movie Actor in this past year. Now, there weren't many hero movies out, if at all. I think it was just pretty much Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 1984. And I don't even know if Wonder Woman 1984 that was too late to be even nominated or what. But, Birds of Prey was pretty much the movie that went out. And probably more favored among the critics than Wonder Woman 1984. As you know, you'll see the Wonder Woman 1984. Half of them didn't like it. The other half did. More critics loved Birds of Prey than Wonder Woman 1984. So definitely that's what happened with that. And it's a small year. There wasn't much movies to come out. Then no Marvel, right? There's no Marvel movies that came out, I believe. And it was very quiet in terms of 2020. So definitely Birds of Prey was able to win multiple awards, Critics' Choice Super Awards. They did like the score, I think, for music too, and lots of different awards. So congratulations to Birds of Prey. Now let's get into movie topics. Now this is a rumor that's coming out. Apparently, Danny DeVito may cameo in The Flash. That's coming from Danny RPK. Claims that Warner Brothers wants Danny DeVito to make a cameo on The Flash, like, as the Penguin, of course, because he was the Penguin in Batman Returns. It's not really quite clear if he's going to come back as the Penguin or he just makes an appearance as an homage to the characters, an homage to Danny DeVito from Batman Returns. So I'm not sure yet, but it does shaping like there's going to be a lot more Burtonverse this time around in this Flash universe. Instead of the Flash taking Michael Keaton's Batman into his world, it's for me, I believe it's more like the Flash is going to hop into the Burtonverse and be there for a while doing heroic justice or whatever. I don't know what he's going to do there, but I think that's how it's going to play off. And that way that spins off to a potential Batgirl movie where it's kind of like Batman Beyond, but with Batgirl instead. So now, since we're talking about the Batman, I want to share with you Dave the Film Junkie's video. Now, I'm not going to play the video. You go ahead. The link to this video is in the description below. Check it out. He has a bunch of things that he shared in this of what he knows, right? And you know, to be fair, he was like saying this might be speculation, but then he kind of said that that's kind of what he heard. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this information other than just judging from being a fan of Dave the Film Junkie. I've watched his videos forever. You start to realize when he talks, that he's talking like he knows something and he's actually spilling beans and trying to play it off. But he did cover in this video, and I just want to point out a few things that I heard in this that was like, what? So just for this, I'm going to chalk this up as...
What's your source on this? A tinfoil hat?
That's right. My source is a tinfoil hat. And the first topic for this video is that Dave the Film Junkie mentions Ben Affleck's Batman will be a two-parter. Oh, wow. So that means that, and he kind of says that in the video, that it could go over to HBO Max and, you know, after Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it could be it was supposed to be like a two-parter movie or a two-parter series. Is that considered a series? Is only 2 parts? I don't know. But part 1, part 2 over on HBO Max. Wow. That's a substantial movie, and I'm kind of digging that. I think it's going to be quite something if that actually happens. Now, I know there was and I actually didn't know until like I was pulling up topics tonight, that there's a Make a Batflick movie trending on Twitter, which was awesome. A lot of people showed their love for Ben Affleck's Batman and wanting him to do Ben Affleck, you know, wanting him to do the Batman, and definitely, you know, encouraging the Warner Brothers or HBO Max to make that series or make that movie. But so I think that's why Dave put out this video today. He also said something that was really crazy, and this may be spoilers if it's true. So, but you know, either check out Dave from Junkies or skip this. But definitely, this is interesting. What he said here is Deathstroke murders Alfred. What? Crazy. I mean, first he said it's a speculation, then he said he heard, so I'm not sure if it's real or not, but it does, as a discussion, I felt that this is something that we could talk about. He does mention that if, you know, Batman works with a Nightmare Joker and Nightmare Deathstroke, and he's having problems working with him, there could be some issues. One, Joker killed Robin, but who did Deathstroke take? So he's saying that Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, killed Alfred. Yeah, which is the little thing that happens in Ben Affleck's Batman, which was supposed to be kind of like David Fincher's The Game, right? Where he kind of loses his mind, loses his family, and he ends up in prison. Like Bruce Wayne sent to Arkham. Now, I'm not sure if he said that Batman's going to be sent to Arkham as Batman or Bruce Wayne sent to Arkham, and maybe that's where he has to like fight his way out Arkham style. I don't know, but definitely that's part of it as well. So you can see that it's going to be one of those crazy Batman movies. It sounds awesome. Lots of stakes, high stakes, and very personal. Very personal. So, and that just makes me want to see it more. I just want to see it. If it's anything like that, or even that gritty, that personal, a revenge story as well, I'm there. I think that would be one of the craziest and you know, awesome Batman stories we'll ever get to see on the big screen or the small screen, depending how you see it if you watch on HBO Max. But I love those ideas. But definitely check out, you know, Dave the Film Junkies little video, and let me know what you hear. Let me know what you think about Ben Affleck's Batman, what we know. So shout out to Dave the Film Junkie for that one. All right, since we're kind of in the groove of Zack Snyder's Snyderverse, if you will, there is an updated report about Zack Snyder's Justice League and also Wonder Woman 1984 that will have the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray releases later this year. And I also want to add that it's probably the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. The problem with this, so this is from digitalbits.com under the Warner Brothers Home Entertainment section. And so there's a lot of movies listed out here, but it's almost every movie that's like that Blu-ray 4K edition, right? So as you come down to Zack Snyder's Justice League, Wonder Woman right there, April 2021. Zack Snyder's Justice League to be announced March 2021. That's the same time Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to come out on HBO Max. And I'm kind of torn about this because I would love it to come out later, because I think it needs a chance to get people, for people who's just going to sign up for HBO Max just for Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is a dumb move. If they want people to sign up for Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max, have them sign up for HBO Max and then release it later as a physical copy. Granted, there may be areas in the world that will not be able to watch on HBO Max, and maybe that they should get a physical copy. But by then, it'll be, the key. The idea is to show Warner Media and AT&T that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a big deal. That's going to draw in subscribers, And yes, there's going to be a whole bunch of films coming out in 2021 that would be worthy of your subscription. Absolutely. But if you're there, like I've heard people who just like, I want to do Zack Snyder's Justice League for HBO Max, that's the only thing I'm going to sign up for, then they're taking that part factor out. I am definitely happy there's going to be a physical copy because I'm going to get it. But I also understand that in order for Zack Snyder to possibly get greenlit to do Justice League 2 and 3, I think HBO Max has to be insanely successful. And if it's not, and it doesn't show that people are watching Zack Snyder's Justice League exclusively on HBO Max or, however else is in theaters or something, then, it's not, they're not going to see the numbers there. It's just going to be a straight to DVD kind of thing, straight to Blu-ray kind of thing. I guess it's not too bad if Justice League 2 and 3 are going to do that, but I'm imagining Justice League 2 and 3 are going to need a pretty substantial budget. And so I'm wondering, I'm just saying, this may not be a good idea to throw it out as a physical copy in March. I think it should be a little bit later. I think it should be like, a few months down, right? After it gets its kind of run on HBO Max. And that's just me, because I think that's the numbers that AT&T Warner Media would see. Now, who's in charge of distribution? Warner Brothers. So could this be it? Could Warner Brothers, Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich are just trying to throw it out there so that it's not so successful on HBO Max? Some conspiracy theories could come up when I'm just thinking and chewing on this. It's like they're throwing it out like, it's just a movie. Let's just throw it on physical copy and get it done with. No, we're not going to make it 2 or 3. Because Jason Kylar won't be able to see the numbers. So I don't know if it's going to come out in March. But I'm definitely going to hopefully get everybody to support. I want everybody to support it on HBO Max. Because HBO Max is the killer app. Their killer app. And if we can prove that what they invested in, and the reason why we're getting the Snyder Cut in the first place is because of HBO Max and because of what we trended in Zack Snyder's Justice League, that we put those two things together, Zack Snyder's Justice League and HBO Max, and get them both successful. And then there's a better chance we'll get a sequel for that. I believe. That's what I'm thinking. But that's just me. But in any case, there is going to be a physical copy, so that's a good idea. And anyway, but as we're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's an article that came out, and it's one of those blog sites. It's more opinion pieces, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is the key to the DCEU's future. So it came from Games Radar, but it's pretty much the sister site, Total Film. The Justice League director is the key to unlocking DC's uncertain future. Now, in this article, it kind of relates, saying that yes, Zack Snyder said he doesn't plan to move on, to continue over on Comic Book Debate, but they're arguing that he should. They're arguing that there is a vocal fan base here that are willing to stick around and willing to support Justice League and possible sequels in the Snyderverse, that they should continue making more of it, continuing that journey, because it will be profitable. It will be a good thing, right? And so I wholeheartedly agree. There's a whole article here that you can take a look at. But in terms of, I'm always thinking about the business side of things, other than just, the future possibilities of these awesome stories coming down the line that could connect to Justice League, because it's awesome. I want to see that future. I want to see it bigger. But in terms of money, in terms of box office, in terms of people who are invested in DC, they are the Snyderverse. They are invested in the Snyderverse. Okay, so I'm going to share with you and you'll probably be familiar with this if you've been around me long enough. This is my Excel sheet that I like to use, and this is pulled from Box Office Mojo. So if you want to go check it out, some budgets like Wonder Woman, 1984, and I think Aquaman, Justice League, I had to look up the budgets for those. But everything else in terms of box office, these numbers are directly from Box Office Mojo. So if you want to check my homework, that's cool. But anyway, I want to show you once again the profitability of this, right? So this is with marketing. Now, usually I use a 2.5, 2.5 multiplier to show how much they usually paid for marketing and so on and so forth, other things like that. So that's where I want to go with that. And so I'm utilizing the budgets here, and I'm doing worldwide because that's a bigger. Yes, I understand international, they give you less money during tickets. Domestic gives you a little bit more. But let's go off with a gross profit-ish. Okay, so and I pulled Wonder Woman 1984 out because this is during the pandemic, and so that number is definitely going to be low. I don't know their success on HBO Max. They are thinking it was successful enough to greenlight the third one, but I wanted to throw that on here just in case you ask me what it is. I took Joker off as well because that is essentially outside the DCEU. At least in these movies, there are characters within the DCEU that was established during the first three movies, right? Man of Steel, BVS, and Suicide Squad. So there's that. So that's why Birds of Prey is in there, Shazam's in there, because it's kind of like you saw the Man of Steel stuff in there. Even though the Superman's headless, that is that Superman. But Joker is outside. Also, Joker did well. But it was split in three because Warner Bros. Never had faith in it, so that was already bad on them. Toby Emmerich and Walter Amato. So let's go on to this. So Man of Steel budget is this. Batman v Superman. You see all the numbers here. So when it calculated out, gross profit is because I minus this much. The worldwide box office minus this to get this much. So like I said, there's a lot of different factors in there, but at least you can see at least like a kind of a number to show you what was pretty good in profitability. So Man of Steel, the first one out the gate, already, about $105 million gross profit-ish. Batman v Superman, almost $250 million gross profit-ish. Suicide Squad, this didn't even count China. Like if China actually played this movie, this would have been around BVS numbers, I would think. 309 million gross profit-ish. Wonder Woman, massive, 449 gross profit-ish. Justice League, of course, we don't know what the budget is and all the different aspects of it. I'm glad it's not a gross profit-ish because that was terrible. That was on their part. They put a lot more money into redoing it than rather letting Zack Snyder do his thing. So that is a negative 92 million. Aquaman, insane. Almost 750 million gross profit-ish. Shazam, 115, not bad. Birds of Prey, negative. million, right? This doesn't count DVD, Blu-ray sales, although like Batman v Superman did very well in Blu-ray sales with the Ultimate Edition, things like that. So I'm just basing it on theater, right? And that's why I don't know what the world's going to be like through HBO Max. But I just wanted to give you an idea of the interest audience invested in. The first movies, which you could probably consider, aside from Justice League, like these ones and Aquaman, you can say these are Snyderverse because Zack Snyder was around when the directors of these movies were doing their thing before Zack Snyder left. Like Aquaman, James Wan showed Zack Snyder approved it. They did well. 668, 873. This would have been 8 something too if it had gone out to China. 822. This one, a lot of people clearly saw that this wasn't Zack Snyder's work. You know, I learned fairly a weeks later, but even at the beginning, my first review, you can check it out. I already noticed that it wasn't a Zack Snyder film. And then 1.1 million. Okay, Zack Snyder was involved in some fashion as a producer in all these, right? And then what happens? Walter Hamada comes in. Shazam, Birds of Prey, 365, 201. Now, I know you're going to talk about, well, look at the budget, Chris. Yeah, look at this. I did look at the budget. 115, it's barely a little over the first movie. The first movie is always going to be the lowest one out of the gate. Look at Iron Man, for instance, right? It's always going to be the lowest one out of the gate. As we build, there should be more. As we build, you're starting to see profitability here. 100 million, 250, 300 million, 449, 750, right? And then actually, Justice League, of course, is a negative because that's terrible. that was crazy. And I don't even consider it as part of the Snyderverse, but I thought I'd plug it in there. But look at this, 115. Look at these numbers. Now you can tell me, yes, it's great to have this type of budget, but what happened to the viewers? Why can't we get this type of budget with this amount of viewers? Why can't we get this type of budget with this amount of viewers? Why is it this? Meaning there's about 500 million for, like, if Birds of Prey to Suicide Squad, and I know this is not even David Ayer's Suicide Squad, so, but look at this. The people who went to watch Suicide Squad and over again, despite critic reviews, despite, just shut out all that Rotten Tomato crap. These are ticket sales. These are people went to go watch it. Where is that $500 million worth of people? Because I think these people continued on to watch that. And I think when they watched this, they're like, what the hell happened? Yeah, right. But they went to watch that. Okay? But they didn't go. They didn't go back to theaters. Like half of these people didn't go back to theaters to watch the next DC movies. This is what this means. The vision. This is what this article is all about. The article is about vision. The one thing that Zack Snyder's Snyderverse showed is vision. A certain connectivity. He had something there. Granted, his Snyderverse really only talks about Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League 1, 2, and 3. But he was kind of involved with the origins for the other characters like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Okay, in that type of connection. In fact, they even shot cameos for Suicide Squad. That's where that vision was. Yes, each director kind of took their own creative liberties in terms of costumes and tone and stuff like that, but it's still mended, right? It's still mended together. In fact, Wonder Woman 1984, even though Snyder's name's on there and Stone Quarry's on there, he did tell us that he wasn't involved in that. He wasn't really involved in the creative aspects of that. but he was involved in the first Wonder Woman. So, yes, I do think that Zack Snyder's Justice League is the key to unlocking DC's uncertain future, as how they're saying right here. Even though he may not be involved down to the point, down to the creative levels of just the, certain things like, air bubbles and whatnot, whatever, right? Just having involved, having him actually creatively involved in some fashion to shape the universe, saying what would make sense, what doesn't make sense, how it would connect. He was the key. And Warner Brothers threw him away. They threw him away, right? And maybe Walter and Monotopia is still continually trying to throw him away by killing themselves. This is your future without Zack Snyder. This is your future without the Snyderverse, unfortunately. So I'm scared. I fear for the Flash. I wonder what's going to happen with the Flash. I think Matt Reeves, the Batman, is going to be fine because it's its own thing. It's going to be like Joker. It's going to be outside the DCEU. It's going to be like a fresh take. It's Batman. So I think that'll do fine. I think that'll do wonderfully, right? Maybe Batman Begins level, which wasn't that much, but still, yeah. But the other ones, I don't know. The Flash is going to be. Hopefully it could just really die. Like it could be terrible, for all we know. I don't know what they're doing over there, but it could definitely be something that is just another throwaway movie. That is light tone and just not memorable. I think, I try to say that there's many different flavors, but it seems like that dark concept that a lot of these movies, even Aquaman, shares, it works wonders. I think it's something that people can connect to and seemingly want to connect to with DC. They're okay with the lightheartedness of Marvel, but I think for DC, it seems like they're already, in a way, connecting to that darker aspect of it. So, and I'm worried about the Flash. I really am. If they continue to try to throw away the Snyderverse, I don't think it's going to look good in the box office. But on the flip side, if Zack Snyder's Justice League does good, it flourishes on HBO Max, we could definitely have our own little universe over on that side. And then we'll see which one does better. All right, well, that is it for the topics. Let's get on to the Ping Pong Flix members' comments and questions. Like I said, if you want your comment or question read on the video, please join as a member down below and then put down a comment or question. All right, here we go. Jonathan Mueller on the Godzilla vs. Kong. I have zero expectations in this one. Love Godzilla 2014. King of the Monsters was a disaster. Not expecting this will be good at all. That's fair, Jonathan. That's fair. That's a fair, review of those. Definitely. I've heard a lot of people say they love Godzilla 2014 more than King of the Monsters. I like it. I like them both. And I think that was a great progression for me. But that's me, and that's not you. So definitely, hopefully, you like Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm really looking forward to it. Where's that trailer? Eric Blake. I'm very intrigued at what the other director might have done with her take on Wonder Woman. What she would have done Would she have done the Crimean War? I'm super curious about the details of her pitch. Me too. And just as context, if you go to the Wonder Woman 1854 video I did for editorial, there was a director named Michelle McLaren before Patty Jenkins came back. And she pitched a Braveheart type war. And I think at that time, it actually might have been the Crimean War. Eric Blake, it's sad how many folks still assume that Patty Jenkins was going against Zack's vision by choosing to set Wonder Woman 1 in World War I as opposed to the Crimean War. Even though Zack's made clear on numerous occasions that that picture was a placeholder and the backstory gave it to help the picture make sense. Therefore, Patty's remark about the chopping of heads was pretty obviously not a shot at Zack, but likely against an exec or someone that took that placeholder backstory and ran with it a bit too much. That said, I'm very eager to see Elseworlds series with an episode being a Crimean War. Diana. I'd like to say that Zack's a nice guy. And so, and Jeff Johns was there at the time, you know, and he was already going back and forth with Jeff Johns, but a lot of times he was really nice, and he just kind of let people do what they want to do at certain points. He's like, okay, well, that's if you want to see it that way. There was a lot of going back and forth, a lot of different story pitches. So I'll leave it at that. Doobie, Harding deafened ain't alive. If he even survived the transition to the Phantom Zone, you know, all those Kryptonians stomped him out on the other side. That's true. He's probably dead. I'm sorry. If he didn't, you know, if he survived the, you know, the impact. Brandon Hayes, yo, Chris, I can't stop coming back and commenting on your videos. Your vids are just too good. Well, thank you. What I find interesting is Warner Brothers was on board with Zack's vision 100% apparently. Prior to BVS, they seem to have loved his ideas and trusted him. Based on your research, they clearly tried to force his story idea onto Patty, and then Wonder Woman became a success, and BVS didn't get a critical appeal and make $1 billion. They changed and went hardcore against Zack's ideas and haven't stopped Snyderizing their films since 2016. After giving Patty 100% creative control, we now have that goofy Wonder Woman 84 as a result. Oh my, what a mess. I also get the feeling that similar to Gal Gadot, Zack probably did similar visual treatment, storyboards, visuals, detailed in costume photography sessions with Jason Momoa, Willem Dafoe, and Amber Heard to set a visual framework for how the solo film should go for Aquaman. After the Snyder Cut comes out, could you do an editorial on Zack Snyder's Aquaman? Because when Zack was designing Jason's look and background for Aquaman, I'm not even more convinced after seeing the Wonder Woman 84 Crimea photo that the film that James Wan made was absolutely not what Zack had in mind for the character. And you still hate Aquaman. That's fair. You know, that's fine. That's a great idea. I actually have storyboards, not storyboards, but concept art for like the ending of you know, Aquaman and how it's supposed to have Justice League members show up. I like that, Brandon. That's a great idea. I may do an editorial on what Aquaman could have been. Nathaniel Goodman, yes. I'm Peril. Oh my God, I fell asleep. I'm so sorry. This COVID made me very sleepy. I'm watching your show now a couple hours later and I respond to you. But thank you so much for supporting. I'm so sorry to hear that you still have COVID. I hope you get through that soon. I really do. Frank Dombrowski, good day, mate. Chris, been MIA for too long. Hope and you and your family had a blessed good ringing of in the new year. COVID outbreak, quarantine protocol for wow, that's a lot of people. And so your entire family's on COVID, on quarantine. I feel really terrible about that. I personally had an on and off headache. Oh, I hope you're okay, man. Okay, almost back to 100% health. Day 10 of quarantine. Okay, so you got 4 more days, right? Stay gritty, healthy, outbreak, COVID-19 free. Thank you so much. Your fine show was lit. Streamed Wonder Woman 84 just by this star. So you like it. I think, judging from that, you love Wonder Woman 1984. Cooper Moser, do you think the Justice League cast will do press for Zack Snyder's Justice League? Or do you think Warner Brothers would rather not have the cast talk about what happened in the movie? You know, they were said that Zack Snyder was going to be like any other marketing for any big movie productions with press junkets and stuff like that. So I think there will be. So that is interesting. I never thought about that. If they do have that, will there only be specific questions can they ask? Can they actually talk about a little bit about Justice League? I would expect that, you know, when talked about Justice League, I think just like Gal Gadot talked for Wonder Woman 1984 when she talked about her working with Joss Whedon, she threw him under the bus. She threw Joss Whedon under the bus. And I think everybody else will definitely, if they've asked who they should blame, they'll probably throw Joss Whedon under the bus. Aside from Ray Fisher, I think he's there to make sure that, you know, other people are responsible as well. Red Coat Hanger Productions. You know, when I was younger, I didn't really enjoy Man of Steel and BVS. Nowadays, I really enjoy those movies for how ballsy the filmmaking direction was. And I can say I really relate to what it's like to have something come out you love, but it feels like universally the rest of the world wants you to feel dumb for liking it. That's me with Wonder Woman 1984, so I feel a lot more kinship with this community. It lacked action, but I thought the car chase and White House scenes were really good action sequences. Scenes. What do you think, Chris? Did those scenes grab your attention? I'd say they were probably the most action you'd see in that movie. I'd like to add the ending fight with the golden armor and Cheetah. I think that and would be a little bit more, Snyder-esque, I guess, if you would say, like an actual action scene. I liked it. When I watched them, I'm like, all right, finally there's an action scene, because you've been going through the drama and stuff. And honestly, after watching Wonder Woman 1 again, it's like night and day in terms of the action. It really is. So take a look at Wonder Woman again, and you can clearly show that Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't built to be an action movie at all. I think it's built to be more of a drama in that sense. So I thought it was a kind of an interesting look when you watch it back to back. Chris, what are your thoughts on Jarbo's theory is Zack and Ray are coordinating, Zack Snyder running interference for Ray? He also suggests that Zack Snyder is negotiating when he downplays any interest in sequels while continuously blowing up the internet with drops. I'd had similar thoughts rattling around my skull, but Jarbo saying publicly in HWAD kind of sealed for me. I don't know what he is, Zack Snyder, in terms of doing, but it does sound like he is negotiating interests in sequels for sure. I think in a way it's almost, and I don't, and this is maybe just conspiracy or tinfoil, but definitely Zack Snyder talks to Ray and maybe utilizing, having Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder knows a lot of people in the industry, and maybe he has sources there, but obviously we don't, I'm not sure. Zack Snyder could just be trying to get his movie out. But in terms of sequels, I would like to think, and I'm wondering, because of this whole Walter Hamada situation, and if Ray doesn't want to work for Walter Hamada, and if Walter Hamada is credited for like Justice League 2, then Zack Snyder is going to say, no, I'm not going to do Justice League 2. And also almost forcing Warner Media to do something about it. Like if you, almost like, we know Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be successful, and if you ask me to do a part 2, you're going to have to get rid of certain people. I'm wondering if that's what is going to go down. If, and I don't know, Zack Snyder's involved in that in any case at all. He wasn't there for the reshoots. So he wasn't there for all the enabling and all the things that Ray Fisher was talking about. He was out already. He was totally out. Now, there may have been things that happened during Zack Snyder when he was there, but I'm unclear if it has anything to do with Ray's situation. Michael Serlo Mathelier. Grant Gustin in the Flash movie? Chris, this could connect the meeting from the CW. Yeah, I would be stoked. Rotten Tomatoes, what a joke. When a Marvel movie comes out, they're like, oh, a piece of candy. Oh, a piece of candy. Oh, a piece of candy. I like that's hilarious. That's coming from Family Guy. Batwoman on Titans. Since killing Jason Todd in season 3 of Titans is a historic arc, Batwoman may show up, tell Bruce and other team members investigate to find the Joker. Oh, I didn't see that aspect. That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty crazy to see it connect in that fashion. Wow, what a crossover. But definitely, I'm thinking more about that now, that if the CW, if they find that there's more worth of having these shows on HBO Max, they may just move them to HBO Max, Harbo Entertainment. Here's a question. Assuming Ava is indeed out from the New Gods film, and assuming that the film is now to be established as in the DCEU proper, who would you most like to see directed? Personally, I'd love to see either Kenneth Branagh, because Thor 1 plus his general Shakespearean background, or Peter Jackson. Yeah, I would love to see Kenneth Branagh. He did a pretty cool Thor 1. I like that. That would be good. I don't know about New God. That's a good one. I mean, if it's the Snyderverse, I would love to see someone that Zack Snyder chooses to take on that. But if it's outside the Snyderverse, it would, I have no idea. I don't know who would actually take that on very well. I mean, it could be anyone from like James Cameron or even, that would be pretty nuts. But yeah, I have no idea. In the spirit of rumblings of DCEU, Green Arrow, and Black Canary series on HBO Max, let's speculate a bit on a similar series of The Question. Who would you want in it? Ryan Gosling. Oh, that would be pretty cool. Elizabeth Mary's Winston Huntress being a big recurring character. Yep. Rosie Perez, Renee Montoya. Yep. Chuck Norris, Elder Richard Dragon, who trains Question. Wow. There are other major characters in the comics. Questions, of course, more thoughts in the future. I like your picks. That'd be a cool movie right there. Doobie, 2820, you don't know how many times I had to listen to what you said before I figured out what you said. I was like, what? YouTube needs to enable GIFs. I don't even know what I said in 2820. I'll probably have to check that out. Doobie, I'd be interested to see CW actors directed and movie directors, see how that impacts the acting quality. Yeah, they may bring out something special out of these actors. They'll probably have multiple takes. I think maybe in the CW, like, that's a great take. Just let's go with that, because they have to like bust out so many. Imagine them as in a movie where they have one scene they work on like all day long or multiple days long, and it really brings out your acting. Bring out your acting chops a little bit. Maybe Doobie, maybe Batwoman is just visiting the set like Kevin Feige visited James Gunn. Yeah, that's possible, but I think she was in her costume. I think that's what they said. Hi, Chris. I'm sorry, I know I keep coming back, but I just had to comment on the Ray Fisher, Adam B. Very tweets. And your question on the Leonard Roberts is, Leonard was a black actor who was on a TV show Heroes back in the mid-2000s. Adam worked with Leonard to get his essay published on Variety recently, which chronicles the blatant racism he faced on Heroes while working with actress Ali Larter and the showrunners, producers, all of whom are white. The racism that Leonard describes is shocking and alarming, and just like race has, Leonard came with plenty of evidence and receipts too. It's all very relevant considering everything happening these days. Ray even mentioned the Leonard Roberts article by Adam in his in-depth interview with the Poindexter Lounge. So it's ironic that Ray has to remind good old Adam the difference between has and will be and his Leonard Roberts article. What's even more interesting is Twitter users have dug up old tweets and photos with Adam hanging out with Joss Whedon as though they are close friends. There's another tweet with Adam championing Joss as the defender of strong women and feminist ideals. So all that let us know that type of person Adam is. He's just another snake. Ray ain't having it. If only Warner Bros. Had stuck with their plan and let Zack Snyder map out the DC universe the way he wanted, Warner Bros. Wouldn't be in this mess. They are all idiots. The Snyder Cut will show that. P.S. Jim Lee is trying to make sure good old Walter hires him to storyboard one of their movies in the future. It's all politics, but Ray will be remembered for his standing in truth. I stand with Ray Fisher. All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for the second comment there. It is very interesting. I'd have to look into that Leonard Roberts one, definitely. All right. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this dose of daily DC content in movies, shows, and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.